Hello, folks. This is Joe from My Geek Scene, and I'm here with my assistant and girlfriend, Sarah, and we're heading home from the Grand Rapids Comic Con. So if you hear like the background noise, that's just a car humming along. We're deciding to do like a casual conversation about our experiences at the Grand Rapids Comic Con. I was there more this weekend than she was, but like I definitely had brought her along because I wanted her perspective on how things were. Because like I've been to the event numerous years, so I already have an idea of like what's in store for me. So like just to hear like a different and fresher perspective is it's always nice. So, for those of you who don't know, the Grand Rapids Comic Con was held at the DeVos Hall at in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Obviously, Grand Rapids Comic Con, and this was I don't even remember like what year this has been for me attending it. I think it was probably like my 9th time attending it, or probably 8th. And it has all the fixings of a regular Comic Con. I don't want to say typical, but like of a Comic Con. It had like your artist alley and vendors, had your celebrity guests, which I'll touch upon in a moment, an area for kids, gaming, and yeah, all sorts of things you could do. And they had some music, and we'll touch upon that as well. Honey, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was. I thought that there was a huge variety of stuff, so I thought it was great. I like how they had like the Lego setup.
For the kids?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was really amazing. Like that whole area with like the Lego setup and then like the Tinker setup. Like it was just like really, really cool just like walk through and just see all of that stuff set up and seeing it going and seeing, everybody looking at it and interacting with it. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, when I was looking at like the kids section, it was, to use the same adjective, it was pretty cool. Like especially with the Legos, because like they had on one side, and I took like a picture or two. It was like a setup of the X-Men Academy with Sentinels attacking it. So that was pretty cool. Like because I saw like one Sentinel being destroyed by Iceman, and they like had the ice blast from Iceman on it. So that was like a really cool setup. It was cool seeing like the Star Wars setup at there. It's like amazing what people can do with like Legos. Obviously, like the kids couldn't touch that stuff that was set up, but just to be able to look at and take pictures with it, it was pretty cool. Like as I mentioned earlier, the celebrities this year, two of the biggest names that were there, I mean, like in each of the celebrity brought something different, so I thought that was pretty cool. But two of the biggest names that were there for this weekend was Vincent D'Onofrio, Full Metal Jacket. He was Kingpin in The Punisher. He's been Men in Black. He's been in a lot of stuff, and like from what I saw of him, like he always had good interactions with the fans. And like one of my friends today actually had a personal interaction with Vincent, and it was like nothing but good things. And then another big name was George Takei, Sulu from Star Trek, like the original series. So I got to see him from a distance as well. So
I love Star Trek.
I like turtles.
Oh, shut up. I'm a Trekkie through and through.
No, I can't say that I'm a Trekkie. I like Star Wars a little bit more than Star Trek, but I always have like deep respect for Star Trek, especially what it brought for like social justice issues from like back in the day. And it was definitely a groundbreaking show. And just to have George Takei there this weekend, that was pretty cool. As far as like voice actors go, they had like a few of the cast members from, I want to believe, like Arcane Legends. They had Jamie Marchi of like anime voice acting fame. Well, they also had like a Friday the 13th reunion as well. But the big name that was there this weekend, especially in the voice acting world, was Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob SquarePants. And like to see his line, it was massive. Like especially on Saturday, it was just insane to see how long his line was. But from what I understand from like people that had spoke to him and got a picture or an autograph from him, like he took the time to talk to each guest. Like he gave them time. So that's a cool thing to see, because you always hear horror stories about like, never meet your heroes and stuff like that. But thankfully that was not the case with him. Did you have any interactions with like any of the guests or anything, hon?
Just the Harp Twins.
Just the Harp Twins? Well, yeah, we'll get to that, like, when the music aspect of this,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Well, no, wait, you had interactions with them?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you talked to them?
Oh, yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah,
then we can talk about that right now.
They're super nice. I went to their booth after the concert that I watched because I bought their book and a CD. So I met them and the
Camille and Kennerly.
Yep, and I met them and the Wolfgang twins, and I got a picture with them. They're super nice. All four of them. Super, super nice.
Nice.
So sweet. So sweet. Chatted for a little bit. They took time with everybody who came up to their booth, and, you know, they were there from when their concert was done up until, and their concert was at 2, ended at 3, and all the way until I went up to their booth, I think at like 4:30, and they were still talking to people and signing stuff and doing autographs and selling things, and so they were doing it the entire time from when they got back to their booth. So
I've seen them do that, like, for a few years now, and, like, they've always been super approachable. Hell, I interviewed them a few years ago. I interviewed them pre-pandemic, so Camille and Kennerly have always been super cool. I don't really know the Wolfgang twins. Maybe one of these days, you know, I might actually get to know them, but, like, it just didn't happen this year. It wasn't in the cards to say, you know.
during their performance, the Wolfgang twins, they look super intimidating and very, very serious, but, you know.
When you talk to them, they're like, oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're easygoing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. They seem really, really nice, but, like, during the performance, you know, it's like they seem very, very serious, you know, and they didn't speak once on stage, but, you know, straight faces.
Okay. All right, well, if you want to just talk about the concert, you know, we can just talk about that now. How was that concert?
The concert was really, really good. I enjoyed it. It was very, very laid back. It was super hard to find it. Because, like, when you go to the book, it said you have to take the escalator, but there's 2 escalators in the building.
Oh, they meant like the escalator in the back, near the back of the thing. Yeah.
So you had to go to the escalator near the entrance, near Monroe Street. And you have to take, so, like, near the entrance, near where you get your tickets. And you have to take the escalator up. And then you have to get on the elevator, and you need to go down 1 floor. And then you need to go to the end of the hallway. And then you had to wait in line. And I left at, like, 1 o'clock, and it was actually at 2 o'clock, and I just wanted to find it because it was, I didn't know where it was at, and I didn't know what I had to do just to go find it. And it turns out from, like, what they were saying when we got in there, that it was listed wrong in the program book for Sunday's time slot, but I didn't look in the program book. I saw a flyer, and that's how I knew when to go. And when I got there was a pretty long line, and so I got there probably like 20 after 1, and it was a pretty good lineup already.
So how was the concert, though, once you got in?
It was pretty full, and a lot of it was, there was a lot of people who were there had been repeats.
But how was the concert when you were actually listening to the music?
I said it was really good.
Oh, I thought, okay.
I said it was really good, yes. And it was great. They said that it was laid back, that they do something different on Sundays than they do the rest of the time. They actually picked 2 songs. For, like, each of the songs, they picked 2, it's 2 songs, and they have the crowd choose which song they're going to play.
Okay.
So, and it's like they have somebody at the front with a decibel reader. So, and it's crowd participation, so whichever song, like, the crowd is loudest is how they determine which song is going to be played. The first set of songs was like Sweet Child of Mine versus Dream On, and so we got to listen to Dream On.
Good, that's a better choice, actually.
Of course, I cheered for Dream On, and I was, like, super, super happy. So, and that's how it went. And it was very laid back, and they talked with the crowd, and they were just like joking on stage, and it was very, very fun.
Okay.
And it turns out there was one person who was in the crowd who had been to 85 performances.
Wow, that's something right there.
Yeah. So and they knew him by name, and I thought that was really cool.
Okay.
And about halfway through their set, they brought out the Wolfgang Twins, and then they did some songs with them as well, and then they did a couple original songs. They had given us the option for the Doctor Who theme song or the Fairy Tale theme song, and we got to listen to the Doctor Who theme song, which I was super excited to hear because I love Doctor Who, and there were a lot of Whovians in the audience, so we got to listen to that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And we got to listen to something off of their new album, which was Twin Destinies, which was part of the book thing that they had. It was a book tie-in, which I bought the book and I bought the album to go with the book.
Okay.
And so we got to listen to something off that. So I got that tie-in.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounded like you had a good time at this concert.
I did. I had a very good time.
Okay.
So
you can see an area for improvement was being able to locate that Monroe room and not be so convoluted, or just have a different space for concert performances.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it's just because DeVos is set up weird. I don't know if there really was a different spot for them to go. They were in a very large room because the spot where they had them, it was a very large area, so they were able to accommodate a large group of people.
Okay.
So that was good. Everybody that was in line, everybody that wanted to see it, got to see it.
Okay.
So that was a good thing. There was nobody turned away due to lack of seating. It was a very, very large hall that we were in. And almost all of the seats were filled.
Segueing into something else, I'm glad you had a good time at the concert.
Mm-hmm. The easiest way to get out, we were able to actually, instead of everybody having to wait for the elevator, we were able to go out the stairs and out the front of the building and then go back in the front doors.
That sounds overly complicated.
It was, and a lot of people had to re-go through bag check and everything because of that.
Yeah. That sounds overly complicated.
Yeah, so that was kind of a downfall, to have to re-go through bag check, and I'm sure if people had made purchases and had any things that were no longer allowed to go through bag check, I'm sure if they had purchased items that were in, they probably had to make runs to their car.
Speaking of purchases and stuff like that, obviously we were in the Artist Alley and Vendor Hall. What were some of the cool things that you saw in the Artist Alley / vendor area? Because you have celebrities at Comic-Cons and stuff, and yeah, that's cool. One of the things that I think that are very critical and important, even though critical and important are pretty much the same thing in this, to a Comic-Con is your Artist Alley and your vendors, and it was a massive area for both artists and vendors. So what were some of the cool things that you saw?
Oh gosh, there were a huge variety of things.
What were some of the things that stood out to you?
There were a lot of 3D printed items. So people had done dice towers, 3D printed dragons, just a variety of different things. And so that stood out. I love this one booth, and I've seen it at a couple different places. They do these etched metal tankards and stuff. It's metal engraving type things. You take the tumblers and the tankards and flasks and all of that, and they do this metal etching onto it.
Uh-huh.
And I've purchased from them before. I have a small coffee mug that says Dice Goblin on it.
Okay.
And they've done they have dice, and then they have the 20-ounce tumblers, and they got the giant 30-ounce ones, and they also have dice, and they have all these different things, and I really like that booth. And then I enjoyed the 3 different booths with chocolate that I found.
Yes. Yes, one of the unique things that I saw this year was like someone had brought like rubs for meats and like seasoning for meats and like seasoning for popcorn. I was like, all right, like I was not expecting that at a Comic-Con, but I was like, that's certainly like unique enough to separate itself from like art and things that people have crafted. So I was like, gave them props. Before we started recording this, you had went to a candle booth, you know.
Oh yes, the candle booth. Can't remember the name of it. It was really cool because they said that they do candles that make it so that way you can do it in conjunction with like your TV shows that you're watching. So it accompanies your favorite TV shows. So it helps bring your TV shows to life. And it really does just like evoke scents that would make you think of that. And like I went around just like sniffing all these candles, and they had all these wonderful scents, and they were really nice. And I was looking at the sides, and they have like super long burn times, and they were all like, I believe, like soy, so like they're really clean burning. And so like these candles seemed really, really nice. I didn't buy any. I'm kind of like, you know, I did get one of their cards so that way I can look at it in the future. My hands were kind of full and we were running short on time. They were about to close, so I didn't spend as much time as I had wanted in their booth, but I'm definitely going to look into it in the future.
Okay.
I love candles.
Shocker. Is there anything that you picked up yourself?
I went to the pickle booth. I love pickles.
Okay, like I know you love pickles. Yes. All right. Is there anything that was non-edible that you purchased today at the Comic-Con?
I picked up a game.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Small little board game. I picked that up at a booth. It's for 1 to 4 players, and you got to keep your dinosaur alive.
Okay. I had purchased a shirt, and the name of the art handle name for this individual, the artist, was Art by Quentin. I believe they're based out of New Jersey. They're definitely not based out of Michigan, but they were definitely at the Grand Rapids Comic-Con this year. And one of the dopest mashups that I saw was like for the shirt that I purchased, it was a mashup of My Hero Academia, the characters from My Hero Academia, that awesome shonen anime, with the characters of the Boondocks, which was an excellent show back in the day by Aaron McGruder, based off the Boondocks comics. Obviously, they had Huey as Deku, and then they had Riley as Bakugo and stuff like that. Colonel Stinkmeaner as All for One. So it was such a cool shirt that I had to purchase it. And this guy had like some awesome artwork too. He had like a mashup of Yu Yu Hakusho with the movie Friday, and a nice mashup of the Boondocks again with Attack on Titan. So it was really cool to buy that shirt and just, I'm gonna rep that dude's art at another event. I had got this awesome 7-foot long canvas print of Berserk by Terry Huddleston, and like he is a fantastic artist. Like, yeah, and he's so prolific. He'll like, as soon as it's almost like as soon as the show pops out, he already has like a piece already in mind, and like he'll have that printed up and stuff. But for like the Berserk print, I'm a huge fan of the manga Berserk by the former Kentaro Miura, may he rest in peace. It's a 7-foot canvas, and the reason why it's 7 foot long is because that's the dimensions of the Dragon Slayer sword in the Berserk series. The sword is the background, but there's so many little details of art that he placed in there. I had also picked up a commission that I had ordered earlier this year from Krista Schumann, and it's a fantastic Sailor Moon themed piece. Like, I just commissioned art from her, but I told her like just to have fun with it. And not tell me what she was gonna make, and it just ended up being Sailor Moon themed. So Sailor Moon was a anime that I used to watch back in the day, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, and I saw so many cool pieces of art and just cool things throughout the thing. It's like too numerous to mention, but going to a Comic-Con is definitely just worth it, just to see like the creativity that people bring to I want to say the stage, but it's not. Just bringing the creativity they bring to the event. Just as we're wrapping this up, and I wouldn't say points of contention, but I guess we're on the cons section of this informal conversation review. There was like two areas that I noticed that were causing some issues. Long lines that were like blocking off other areas. I've addressed this in the past, but unfortunately it still seems to be a little bit of an issue from time to time at the Grand Rapids Comic-Con. Tom Kenny's line was extremely long. It was so long that they actually had a marker. If you were at the professional photo booth, it was like roughly like a 4-hour wait, a 3.5 hour to 4 hour wait just to meet Tom Kenny, because there were so many people and he was taking the time to talk to everybody, and I cannot begrudge him for that. But that was definitely on Saturday. Like the longest lines I noticed were like on Saturday, and then like for the food vendor areas that were towards the front entrance of the con, there was like long lines of people too that were actually sometimes blocking booths depending on where the people were standing. And another area that I've talked about in the past was like the Artist Alley section just felt like it was a little cramped in that, while other areas, especially like in the vendor hall section of it, well, like there was a lot of space to be able to walk through. But once again, like in the Artist Alley, when you were trying to walk down there, it's, if it was like super busy, it was cramped and just like difficult to get through at times. So I would have to sometimes, like, I'd look down an alley and like, nope, and then just walk around, go a different route in order to get to the artists that I needed to talk to and stuff. So those are like pretty much my complaints like about the Grand Rapids Comic-Con. Other than that, I can't complain about it. It was like a good show overall. I look forward to going to my hometown con like every year. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, that would be about it for me.
Okay. Well, before I wrap this up, there's a couple of shout outs that I'd like to give to like the cool people that I've always see like each year. And there's no particular order. Caitlin Smith, Corinne Roberts, Travis McIntyre, Jay Fosgett, Cassidy R. Warner, Christy Cube, Dave Brown Jr., Terry Hiddleston is for sure. Art by Quinn, because he's a new cat that I met, but like he's super cool. Mike, Ashley, Rosie, Denise, Zezzy, Kogan Khan, Doki Khan, the people from Capital City Comic Con and Tulip City Comic Fair, or at least Tulip City Comic Con. Sorry, Matt, I am just brain farting right now, dude. Apologies. Like, it's been a long weekend, so sorry if you're listening to this. To Mark and to Jen, like, and to all the staff of the Grand Rapids Comic Con, like, I appreciate all you guys. You're always so accommodating, like, whenever I come to your event, and I'm super grateful for like the opportunities that you give me each year to do press at your event. So I had another great time at the Grand Rapids Comic-Con. Sounds like my girlfriend had a great time at the Grand Rapids Comic-Con.
Absolutely did.
So it's an event that I look forward to each year, and I will be glad to return next year. Oh yeah, and Seth the Moose, I gotta give you a shout out too, dude. So all right, folks.
I love how he was an afterthought.
It wasn't an afterthought. It's like when you know so many people, it's like I literally had to like start an hour early before the event ended to say goodbye to all the people that I've known throughout. Will Jones, give you a shout out as well.
I hope Seth shuns you the next time he sees you.
It's not like he's going to listen to this anyway, so it's all good. All right, well, folks, this is Joe from My Geek Scene with Sarah. We had a great time at the Grand Rapids Comic-Con. Take it easy.
Bye.